Hey, welcome to my channel. I feel like this is one of my first, official videos. Um, I have no script, no particular points that I want to cover, but I think it's time to just start. My name is Shamise, and as of now, this channel is meant to be about my journey with discovering more about my programming. And that's a big word, but I'm sure probably a lot of people understand what I mean right off the bat. Um, it's basically just self-observation that I'm trying to do and really trying to understand why I am the way that I am. And I don't mean that in a way as there's something wrong with me. Nothing like that at all. But what it is about is just becoming more conscious of my processes and why I process things the way that I do so that I can deal with those processes in a healthier way going forward. Full disclosure, I'm 39, and within the last 5 years specifically, maybe a little bit more, I've really just started to, quite frankly, become uncomfortable in life as it is. And I couldn't really tell if it was a series of decisions or kind of where I was, where I am. I think maybe at the time it was a little bit of where I was, but back at that time I had a plan in place where within a few years I kind of knew that I wanted to change some things and make some moves physically, with work, like creatively. But I think it was just also something I actually couldn't really figure out. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was just like not happy, and I knew I was going through another like low depressive mode. I have been formally diagnosed with depression twice, and I knew it was kind of one of those times where I was just really going through a low point. I had zero energy. I really just wanted to get through the things that I absolutely had to get through that day. And then I wanted to get in my bed, turn on Netflix, watch TV until I fell asleep. It was just like nothing was exciting at all. I just wanted the next day to come so that I can get closer to the time of my life that I was dreaming of and couldn't wait to get to next. I couldn't figure out a way to enjoy the moment. And that's the thing about depression too, is that a lot of people just don't get it, and they talk to you as, but you have so many good things in your life, it's just a phase, tomorrow's a new day, or everything's gonna be okay. And a lot of us with depression know that, and it's not anything about being ungrateful for what we do have, because we know there's so many good things. The fact that we're breathing is a freaking miracle if you really think about it and break that down. Just the fact that we're walking and breathing and that we don't have to think about where our next breath is going to come from, that in itself is a miracle. But it's not about that. It's depression is a chemical issue where we're not always, we're never choosing to be sad. It's just something that happens, and then we have to figure out how to pull ourselves out, or to try to have those inner conversations with ourselves and acknowledge that we're going through a moment, we're not feeling good, but what can we do today? There are times where I don't take a shower. It's just true. Personal hygiene is affected really greatly when you have depression, because you can't really focus on putting the energy into taking care of yourself. Like, there is no energy, there is no desire to do things that other people may feel like they couldn't get through the day without doing. It's just a fact. Like, I don't always eat well, just don't have the energy, just don't feel like it, which is also backwards because I do get hungry, but the whole process of like figuring out what to eat and then actually making it and then hoping that I enjoy it, like Little things like that can just change the whole thing. And it's just like, just go to a fast food joint because you kind of know what you're going to get, you know that you'll like it, but now you're wasting money probably. So I kind of sort of went off, but it all ties in together, where like those few years ago, I started to really try to think about what was wrong, what was going on with me, aside from knowing about the depression. But what did I need? What would make things better for me on a daily basis? And I ended up figuring out a craft that I really enjoy. I've been doing it since 2018 now. It's about 4 years, almost this summer to be about 4 years that I started, and I do bookbinding. So that has been super, super mega therapeutic for me and has helped a lot. My day job, I deal with numbers, deal with people, and all the headaches that come with numbers and tax time. I don't prepare taxes, but I do bookkeeping, so I have to make sure the reports are correct. So there's a lot involved in that. That's the day-to-day for the small businesses, making sure all the financials are making sense, are telling the true, accurate story of the business, and then dealing with the people who own those businesses. So tax time is tough, but having a craft business is completely opposite of that and completely uses the other side of my brain, which is really fun for me. But along with learning that skill, I have started to get into more books and topics and kind of YouTube channels and podcasts, and trying to learn a little bit more about kind of what's going on with me internally. And I think that I've discovered 2 additional pieces, which is being an empath, which in summary is just feeling and absorbing other people's energy times 10. Like when you walk into a room, your mood and your whole vibe kind of changes because of what you're picking up on from other people. Like you're immediately reading everyone else's emotions, you're paying really close attention without even trying, like all their body language cues and listening to their tone of their voice, and however you decipher that person is feeling, like you're also absorbing it at the same time, and it kind of changes how you're feeling. So I realized, I think about 2 summers ago now, I was just going through a time of not wanting to be around anybody. Like everybody was annoying, made me sick. I just wanted to be alone, and like even the people, and I have very few people in my life, honestly, but everybody has their own way of doing life, and even everybody's energy levels are different. Like I'm super low energy, super chill. I just like to take it easy. And some people love to just rip and run and be in the street and go to the store, and which is such a overwhelming experience for me, going to the stores and stuff. And they just like to be doing stuff. And me, I don't know if it's just kind of the stuff that's going on in my life on a daily basis, which is not a ton, but I don't know, like I just don't need that. I love to be home. I love to, honestly, one of my favorite sounds right now is hearing my front door locking my door, because the world is outside and I'm in my little bubble, my safe zone, I just love being home. I like my apartment. I like what I've done with the space and make me comfortable. I have my little candles, and I like the light that comes into my place. So it's just like a big warm blanket for me to be home. So anyway, I was just like, why am I so like annoyed and unattracted to everybody, people that I love and people that get me? And it's easy to be around those people, but I don't know, I was just like, what the heck is going on? I've never really felt like this before. So I started reading, and I'm sorry I'm sniffing, I'm trying to I feel like I'm at the tail end of a cold, so my voice is a little scratchy too. But I came across being an empath, and I was reading this book, and I was like, checking all the boxes. And just to sum it up, I I actually don't have, oh, I do have it up there. I'll go into it deeper in another video, I think, but all the basic, like maybe it was 10 to 15 questions or something, like, do you experience this? Do you feel like this when this happens? And I checked off nearly every box, and I was like, oh my God, this makes so much sense. Because I've always been someone that I just kind of just growing up in the way I was raised, it was easier to A, not make any waves, and B, just kind of do what you had to do to get through the situation, make others comfortable so that I could be comfortable. That's just kind of something I learned growing up, and now I'm trying to kind of undo that a little bit, trying to kind of refine myself, because I remember times when I wasn't afraid to express myself. I didn't care what people thought. But there were other situations that have happened in my early adulthood too that I think have triggered me to kind of fall away from myself. Another video. And then on top of that, like just a few months ago, I think I'm realizing that I have adult ADD, not ADHD, because I think the ADHD is more about kind of being hyper and like high energy, which I'm absolutely not. But ADD and ADHD is very common in women, so I'm diving into that subject too. I've done some audiobooks and everything made sense there too. I have a hard time concentrating for long periods of time. My head is constantly all over the place. I can't seem to get organized, or I know what I want to do, but I literally can't figure out the steps to take to accomplish something. Like, it's too much sometimes for me to figure out how to actually create a plan to do things. And sometimes I feel lazy and just like I'm forgetting things, or and I also feel like I have a hard time just, like I said, focusing on one task. So even if when I finally do get the list and the order of ways I'd like to achieve something, it's sometimes really hard for me to just go through that list. Like, I don't know. So another video too, I'll go specifically into some of the traits that I feel like I identify with, the books that I read, the information that I'm finding. Because I'm like, I can't be the only one, you know? And I think especially as a Black woman, in our culture and our upbringing, mental health is just not a thing. Like, it is a thing, but people don't acknowledge it for what it is. They don't kind of deal with it as, okay, their brain works differently and they have different needs than what maybe other family members need or what I need. We're just expected to show up, be strong, push through it, and don't cry for too long. It's like, okay, that's enough. Stop crying, you know? So I want to stop doing that, stop shutting down how I actually feel about things and start being more vocal, because I think it's only going to help me, because the people that are close to me deserve to know how I feel. Like, we don't need to be having surface relationships, and I think a lot of the times it does become that because we're not comfortable going into how we really feel about something, afraid of being judged or afraid of being looked at like you should be stronger than that, or you should be able to figure this out. Sometimes people just need a little help, but then a lot of the times people just need to be accepted for who they are. A lot of things can change, sure, but they can't really change, I don't think, if it's not even acknowledged in the first place, and especially if people are hiding from the people closest to them. I think we're at a time though where many people and older family members, older generations are starting to realize that these are the names for what their family members have been dealing with all this time. This is why they are the way that they are, whatever that is. And I think our parents, like even my parents or grandparents are always like, you know, they're cool already. They're like, whatever grandparents are more understanding, I think, sometimes than parents. At least my grandparents are. They're just like, okay, you know, whatever. They're not judging at all. They just want you to be okay. And they're willing to listen to whatever you feel is going on and important in your life, right? But sometimes with parents, it's hard to break through. But I think it starts with, like, with me and my parents, we're definitely in a place where they're listening and they're open to hearing what I have to say, which is awesome. And I think it's easier when you become an adult too to have those conversations and say, you know, Mom, Dad, this is kind of what I'm dealing with. This is kind of how I feel. And they're like, oh, okay. So I think it's getting easier now. So anyway, I feel like I'm talking forever. This is kind of like an intro. Before I go, though, I do want to say one other thing, which is important to me and important to this journey that I'm trying to be on right now is I just pressed play on this video. How you see me right now is how I am right now. I don't particularly care to match. I'm like, what's comfortable for me, what's warm, it's cold outside. My hair, honestly, this might be part of the things I'm dealing with. I don't care to do my hair every day, to be straight up with you. I did my hair a few days ago. I put a little scarf on at night, and this is how it comes out. But see, these are the things that would stop me from wanting to show up. A lot of people right now don't get it. And I know that I have changed in the last 10, 15 years, and I know why. But I'm also honoring wherever I am at this moment. And I'm trying to just show up the best way that I can and trying to check off the necessary boxes of the day. And right now, the hair is not one of them. I used to have long hair, used to have the perms and relaxers, go to the Dominicans all the time. My hair, if I may say so myself, is beautiful. It really is. But things, you know, in my life, it just was better for me right now. And I love the shortcuts. It's better for me to have my hair short. Right now, I just haven't found a good time to go to the barber. But I'm cool with that. And even that is a big step for me, to be cool with that. Like, it doesn't even matter. If it matters to you, I'm sorry about that. It's no longer my problem. Like, what you think of me and the labels that you want to put on me because you think I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, or I should be doing this to myself. I should get my eyebrows done. I should get my nails done. I should have my hair done. A lot of that is how I used to think, and a lot of it's just fake. If I'm focusing on things like that, this is my opinion, I'm not focusing on something else. Now, there's a lot of women out there who that is them no matter what, and they do a beautiful job at keeping all those things done all the time, and that's just their personality. That's how they feel comfortable, and there is zero issue with that at all. What I'm saying, for me, that used to be. Right now, that's not. And I think people have a hard time with that as well, is they get used to seeing you a specific way, and then they have a hard time adjusting to the changes in your life. So again, that's another topic that I'll certainly be touching on through other topics that I'll have on this channel. But I want to end it here. I know I've been talking for a while, so if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. And if you liked what I'm saying and you like what you might hear in upcoming videos, please give me a like and give me a follow, and I'll see you next time. Bye.